Last January, almost a year ago now, I ordered 3 cars for the Polar Express freight train, and one of them has just been delivered. I haven't opened it yet, and I have no idea what's inside, but it's one of the 3 that I ordered last January. So I'm going to go ahead and we're going to unbox that, open it up, and then we're going to put it on the layout and run it on the Polar Express freight train. My Polar Express freight train is pulled by the Père Marquette Lion Chief Plus 2.0 locomotive. And we're going to do a few maneuvers with that as part of our operating session after we unbox the new car and demonstrate how it works. So let's get started. I ordered this from Charles Rowe, and Charles Rowe claims to be the largest dealer of model trains in the world. So we're going to go ahead and get the box open and see what's inside. Well, got a lot of packing peanuts. That's a good sign. That means things are usually intact inside. I save these and recycle them and use them with packing other things. And here's what we have inside. It's the Polar Express flatbed bell car. So I'm going to open that up and see what it looks like once we get it open. It's a little easier to see with the plastic wrap off it. Now let's see what's inside this box. It says the Polar Express Flatcar with bell. And there it is. There's the flat car. And something here must be used to affix the bell to it. This is the bell. You hear it ringing? There you go. You still believe if you hear it ringing. This, I'm not sure what it is. I'm going to have to open it up and figure it out. Maybe there's some instructions in here somewhere that I haven't been able to come across yet. Let me find out. Not seeing any instructions there. Not seeing any instructions anywhere. So I'm not sure exactly how this works. These stakes obviously go on the car. There's little holes all the way around here. You can see here all the way around the flatbed there are little holes, and these stakes will go in those holes, and that will hold the bell on somehow. We'll see how it works. There we go. We've got these stakes to go in. See these little brackets here all the way around? You can see them if I get them in the right position. These little brackets here on the edges are where those little stakes will go. Yeah, that will make it look like a genuine flat car. We do have operating couplers, if I can get them to work. Not sure if I'll be able to. Yeah, there we go. This is a different kind of coupler than they used to use a few years ago. These, instead of just pushing down, it slides, and that opens the coupler. So I'm going to put the stakes on, and then we'll go from there. Well, this is it. This is the new car that I just received, all put together and sitting on the track on the upper level. It is the Polar Express flat car with bell. There's little stakes that go around the side of the flat car to hold the load on, and if you look closely you can see that there are not enough to fill all of the stake holes. I don't know why that would be, but I looked through all the packaging. I didn't miss anything. This is all that came with it. There should be 8 more. If I had 8 more, I would be able to fill all the holes on both sides of the flat car, and that would make it look complete. But this is the way that Lionel has chosen to put them together. So actually, for just holding the bell on, it's going to do just fine. I'm going to do a little operating session next. I'm going to take and move the Polar Express freight train from the lower level to the upper level. And on the upper level, I'm going to reverse the direction. So I'll use the crossover bridge here that you can see on the upper level as my reversing loop in order to be able to reverse the direction on that and get the Polar Express freight train running in the direction opposite the direction it's going in now. That maneuver is going to require moving the passenger train out of the way, moving the ELF work train out of the way, and getting that all arranged is going to take a few minutes. So I've got to get things arranged, get things started, and then we're going to bring the Polar Express freight train up the grade, and we're going to have to be doing that in reverse. And once we get it up the grade, my first step in getting everything arranged so that I can move the freight train to the upper level is to get the ELF work train out of the way. I'm going to take that across the bridge and put it into the back side of the layout. So away we go. It should go onto the bridge, and it should come backwards in reverse across the bridge, and then I'll be able to take it into the back side of the layout, the north end of the layout, and let it park there. Now once I get it out of the way there, I'm just going to park it and let it sit for a bit while I move the other trains that I have to rearrange. You can hear in the background the announcements coming on the trolley as it goes back and forth on its own dedicated track. We need to find the app, and I know it's on here. I've got to find my app for the Lion Chief Plus. There we go. I've got no connected engines right now. My first move is going to be to connect the passenger train, because I need to move the passenger train out of the way so that I can get the freight train onto the track to go to the upper level. So first step is move the passenger train. That little whistle tells me it's connected, so let me go forward with that and get that out of the way. There we go. Passenger train is on the move. It's going to go around behind the downtown area, and I'm going to leave it parked on that south end of the layout. Now I'm going to take the passenger train and disconnect it. That's the disconnect signal. And connect the freight train. And I'm going to move the freight train around to this side of the layout. And as I do that, I'm going to disconnect some of the cars, because with as many cars as I have connected on it right now, it's just not going to go up the hill. It'll take more power than I have in that engine to get up the grade with the consist that I'm running right now. So I'm bringing it over here, and then I will do some disconnecting and leave some cars on the lower level. I think if I cut off about now, I'll have enough power to go up the hill the way I want to. So we're going to disconnect and take the rest of the train around where it needs to be. All right, I have the switches in the right position, and we should be able to reverse up the grade with the Polar Express freight train. Let's see how we do. Got a good head of steam. Whoa, derail. Not sure what caused that. Gonna have to go investigate. Well, we had two emergencies. One was the derailment of the freight train as it was going up the grade. And the second was, for unknown reasons, just kind of randomly happened, the passenger train connected with the Lion Chief Plus app and started roaring down the track at full speed. Fortunately, I was able to hit the switch and shut off all power to the tracks before that one collided and made the derailment even worse. But let's give it another try. We'll see if we could get it to back up and go up the grade to the upper level track. Now we're going to try to connect the freight train. That whistle suggests that it is connected, and let's see if we can get her up the track. Here we go. I have to have a decent head of steam going up this grade, otherwise it just won't work. But too much and it goes too fast and derails. Ooh, there we go. Got another problem. I'm gonna have to go see what's going on. Be right back after I fix it. Well, I've got it back connected again. I'm not sure what's causing it. For some reason, it seems like the piggyback cars don't really want to back up and go around that curve. That's an 036 curve, and they're rated to handle 036 curves. So let's try it again and see if we can get her to go. Here we come. Doesn't want to go. Let's try to go forward a little bit and see if by going forward we can get a little bit more momentum built up and then come up again. We try it again. I'm kind of walking a fine balance here between enough momentum to get up the grade and too much momentum so that it goes off in the wrong direction. Well, we've got her all the way up. So I'm going to take the Elfwork train and put it back on the crossover bridge temporarily so I can back all the way around and connect the last car of the freight train with the Bell car, the Bell flatbed car. So hang on, we're going to do a few little maneuvers here. All right, I'm going to see if we can move the Elfwork train onto the crossover bridge, get it out of the way so that we can connect up the last car. That's the Bell flatbed rail car with the rest of the Polar Express freight train. Okay, that's as far as we got to go because we just, oops, we'll go a little bit further. Just need to park it there temporarily. So we got it parked there. Let's see if we can get the freight train to go all the way around now and connect up. Here we go, backing it up. Reversing all the way around. Everything should be clear sailing for it now as it comes around. I'm glad to see it cross that switch. Here it comes. Glad to see it cross the switch over there without any difficulty. I'm going to slow it down. I don't want to have too much of an impact when the reindeer car connects. Here we go. We just check and see if it's connected. All right, my connection seems solid. I've got the Bell car connected to the freight train now. Let's see if we can take it forward and we'll have a little fun with that. There we go. We now have that running the way we want it on the upper level. Now we're going to park that briefly and see if we could do a reverse on that. The rule for reversing is very simple. If I backed up, then I have to back down. That leaves the engine going in the opposite direction when it gets back to the lower level. So first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to get the ELF work train back off the bridge now that the Polar Express freight has gone past it, and get that out of the way so that I can go backward across the bridge with the Polar Express. And I'm going to have to back it quite a ways up to get it far enough out of the way so that it doesn't create a problem as it gets out of here. So there we go. We're backing off the bridge, and we're going to take it all the way around till it's almost at the entrance to the bridge on the other side. So that's the ELF work train, and we're getting it back out of the way so that we can take the Polar Express freight train across the crossover bridge, which will result in reversing its direction. There, we should be good right there. Now, I have to make sure the switches are thrown on the bridge, so that should have the switches in the right position so that I can bring the freight train back across it. And I have to connect up the app on my iPad in order to get that done. So let's start with connecting the app. There we go, we got the siren or the whistle, so that shows us that we're connected. Now we're going to see if we can back it up and take it across the bridge. Here we come, and the car that we connected, the flatbed with the bell on it, is the first one coming across the bridge. Everything seems to be going the way it should, and we'll see if we can make it all the way. I may have to stop and back the ELF work train up further in order to make it enough, give me enough room, but I don't think so. I think we're going to be fine. I think we're going to clear the switch, and that's as far as we need to go. Okay, there we are. We have cleared the switch. Now I can throw the switches, and we can get in position to head back down. So let's start with that. There, that switch has gone into the right position. Now, I also need to throw the switch that leads to the downward track so that we don't derail when we get over by it. It should automatically throw, but you never know, so I'm going to throw it. There, we got it in the right position, and I should be able to take the freight train forward now and get it in position to go down. We have one more task that we'll have to do before we can actually start down, but we're headed in the right direction. I'm going to pause it here for just a moment because I've got a trailer on that piggyback car that's not exactly in the right spot, so let me fix that. Okay, that trailer is now in the right position, so we're going to let the freight train go forward and clear the switch so it can start on the downgrade. Once it has cleared the switch with the last car, we can go ahead and take it down to the lower level. Cleared the switch. Now we can flip that switch, and the switches are in position, so it should be able to go back down and make it all the way to where it needs to go. Let's see if we can do this and get it on the right track where we want it to end up. We're going to go down the grade to the lower level. No reason to rush at this point because we've got gravity working for us. Just have to get the lift bridge out of the way so it can go down. And we should be set to go down. Let's see how we do. Well, hopefully the bell won't roll off. It's just rolled a little bit. I'm hopeful that'll stay in position and not roll off the car as it goes along. If it does, I'll have to stop everything so we don't have a derailment. Now, I'm hopeful I've got the switches all in the right position. As we head on down, we have to go down behind the farm, and then we're going to get behind the depot, and we're going to switch from track 2 over to track 1. If I've got the switches in the right position, we should go through that without any problem, and it seems like it's working. It's switching over onto track 1, which is great. That's where we want to be. Once I've got everything through all the switches, I'll be able to finish out this maneuver. I've got to clear the locomotive through, and the locomotive is going through now, and we are clear of the switches. Now, I've got a few little things to deal with, and we'll be able to reconnect the train. Now, what I just did is I moved the caboose from one end of the cars that I had left on the lower level to the other end. I moved it down here, so the caboose is now in front of or behind the flatbed car with the searchlight on it. I'm going to move that whole section of train back to a position where when the freight train comes back to couple with it, that flatbed car with the bell on it will be able to have a straight in run. It'll run straight into the coupling on the hot chocolate car, and then it should couple up with no problem. So let me get that positioned. Okay, we're going to back up the freight train and see if we can make that connection. Here we come backward. Now, making these connections when you couple the cars, if they are straight, on straight sections of track in relation to one another, they will couple together much more readily than if they're on a curve. So once we get this flatbed around here, we're going to check the coupling on it and get the coupling open. And once we've got that done, we'll be able to connect. Should couple together now when we go back and put them together. Here we go. Now, we'll see if we can go forward and if they'll stay coupled together. Yeah, that coupling is good. So we are now headed in the opposite direction. We have now reversed that freight train, and we're going in the opposite direction on track number 1 than we started out going. One of our subscribers suggested that we use an iPhone to operate one train and the iPad to operate the other, and we'll see if we can do that successfully. We're going to start out and get the elf work train going, which I now have moving, and now we're going to see if we can get the two trains operating at the same time. We're going to start out with the Lion Chief freight train. And it's going. We've got that moving. Now we're going to try the passenger train. We've got that going. So I've got all three trains on the layout plus the trolley operating at the same time. I'm using the remote control that came with the ELF work train to operate it. It is also a Lion Chief Plus 2.0 engine, so it can be operated with the Lion Chief app, but I'm going to operate that with the remote so I can use my iPhone and my iPad to operate the other two. Oops, we have got a disconnected engine. Let's see what's going on. I'm going to turn off the power and see if I can find what's shorting it out. Well, that was an easy fix and one I probably should have spotted earlier. The coupling at the back end of the Bell Flatcar and the front end of the hot chocolate can car were a little bit off the tracks, and that probably happened when I rammed them together to get the couplings to take. So let me see if I can get these trains connected again, and we'll try to do two trains at the same time. That's the locomotive for the Polar Express passenger train, and we're going to put that in motion. There we go. No sense in going real fast. We don't need a lot of speed. We just want to see movement. Now let me see if I can get the Polar Express freight train connected to my iPad. According to the sounds, it's connected. See if we can get it moving. There we go. Whoa, that didn't work out very well. They disconnected again. I'm going to have to back up and go back over there and reconnect them so that I don't have a derailment when I come over and hit the caboose. There. We'll let that sit there, and I'll see if I can go get them connected properly. All right, I've coupled them together again. Let's see if they'll hold together as I take that train now through the tunnel. So far, so good. Looks like it's holding together. I really hope I don't have it uncouple when I'm in the tunnel. That would be very inconvenient. Got three trains plus the trolley running simultaneously. Got the siren, or the whistle on the passenger train. Whistle on the freight train. The trains are going to be meeting about near the boarding platform on opposite tracks, so no risk there. And on track number 3, the upper level track, is the ELF work train. So we've got three trains plus the trolley running simultaneously. Well, that will do it for this operating session, folks. Well, that was the unboxing and the first run, test run, of the flatbed bell car. And it's pretty cool. I was a little doubtful that the bell would stay on, but coming down that grade, it stayed on. So success there. We also got three trains running simultaneously by using my iPhone and my iPad to operate them using the Lion Chief app. And so that was a good operating session, all things considered. A couple little glitches with couplings and uncouplings, but that's part of what happens when you're running trains. So altogether, a good day. Anytime you're running trains, it's a good day. So, as always, I want to say thanks for watching. If you haven't subscribed already, please do so. Please comment down below and click the thumbs up and like this video. All that helps me with the YouTube algorithm, which we really appreciate. And as always, thanks for taking the time to watch today. See you next time.